75% of frequent practice visitors feel frustrated with their experience. Beyond the costs associated with healthcare, patients are much less satisfied with the services that they receive. Now, if patient frustration is at all related to the consumer world, then 1/3 of them would switch their provider after one bad experience. Sure, those two statistics don't reflect well in the healthcare industry, but I'm merely pointing out that there's a problem. If you find ways to solve this problem, you'll thrive as a practice, though. So how do you solve it? Well, it starts with building patient loyalty. Hi everyone, I'm Matt from eTactics, and today I'm going to explain 5 no-brainer ways to build patient loyalty. Before we get started though, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the button below. While you're down there, hit that alert bell icon next to it as well, so when we post new helpful content, you get notified. The first way to building patient loyalty probably isn't what you think. Understand your reality. Organizations love those who are most loyal to them because 65% of their business comes from existing customers. It's safe to assume that loyal patients contribute similar percentages to their healthcare facilities, right? Wrong. The reality is much more different and more fickle than the business-to-consumer landscape. According to an Accenture study, patients are about as likely to switch their provider as they are their cell phone carrier. A study in the Journal of Medical Marketing found that patients may be loyal enough to come back to an organization, but will switch after just one negative experience. That statistic alone directly contradicts KPMG's commercial space findings that 46% of consumers will remain loyal after a bad experience. My point here is that preferences within the healthcare space seem spurious. The second way to build loyalty is to find your biggest supporters. The average lifetime value of an individual healthcare consumer is $1.4 million. In other words, every time you lose one of your patients, you're losing a ton of revenue as well. Now, if you've been in business for a few years, odds are that you have at least a handful of patients who are already loyal to your practice. So how do you find those people? Maybe your clients are tech savvy. If that's the case, then you'll find your biggest advocates on review boards writing about how great your business is. Third, look for easy ways to boost satisfaction. There's a direct correlation between their loyalty to you and their satisfaction with you. Most likely, you weren't overjoyed the last time that you went to a doctor's appointment yourself. Nothing is more exciting than beige walls, plastic pleather seats, and old magazines to read, right? Imagine how you'd feel walking into a comfortable office with modern lounging furniture, easy to access Wi-Fi, and an area to make your favorite hot beverage. All of these adjustments quickly change your entire perception of your employment. That's because subtle details make enough of an impression on you that you remember exactly where they happened, so that's why you should implement them in your practice. Fourth, shift your care experience toward one of personalization. The medical industry continues to shift toward a value-based approach. Entities receive payment based on results. Thus, the providers hand their power over to their patients. In order to stand out in this model, you need to make sure that your services are personalized to your clients. Providing a sense of individuality is very important. This means adding easy scheduling, appointment reminders, feedback surveys, and healthcare record access. The fifth and final tip I have for you is to make connection easy. Trust builds loyalty, and that can only happen if there's a strong relationship between yourself and your client. When I say building a relationship, I'm not talking about a cold professional one. If that were the case, this wouldn't be a section within this video because most doctors probably already have those relationships with their patients. Did you know that 81% of patients want their doctors to send them text messages? Just know that studies show that insufficient communication leads to less satisfaction. We know what that leads to, an unloyal fan base. Odds are patients aren't going to be more loyal to their doctor than their favorite technology company. That's just the facts. It's a hard statement to understand, sure, but it's not an overreaction. There's just too much involved within healthcare, making it impossible to influence your relationship with your patients fully like you could if you were in the consumer space. The patient landscape is changing without a doubt, so you have no choice but to implement ways to build loyalty with those who come into your office for appointments. So don't focus on anything that wouldn't work, focus on efforts that would work and aren't superficial. Now, if you'd like to learn more about easy ways to increase your patient loyalty, reach out to eTactics. And you already made it this far into the video, so you might as well like it, share it, and comment below. Well, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to our YouTube channel.